End of the day. I'm gonna do my end of the day video a little earlier today. It's 4 o'clock. They're gonna bring dinner probably at 5. Hopefully it's something really good, something gourmet. I had physio this morning. It was basically the same kind of stuff like you saw. We did some walking. It was a little difficult. It was difficult, but I think I did a good job. I kept plowing away. And the one thing I focused on today is not so much walking, but how I walked, if that made sense. So the main goal today was this foot goes here, and then when I put it down, make sure my steps are not too far apart, not too close. I'm trying to keep them. And then as far as the strength and stability, they were still holding me and stuff, and so that'll come with time. So we did some walking first, then we did, excuse me, some of the stuff you saw before. Oops. So yeah, but I didn't do it as well as I did on those videos. So if you saw that video, you'd think, wow, he's doing good, man. But I regressed since then. The video you would see of the physio was just before I got sent back to the hospital. Figure out what's going on with the spinal cord and whether I was damaging myself again or whatever. So out of me coming back again, taking those, like they said, we're gonna start over and we're gonna do one step at a time, no pun intended. And today, what was different was, I called it the doctor's playroom. You know when you go to the doctor and they have all these little kids' toys there with all these little things in it to do? So I had to do some stuff like that, but the difference was I had to stand. So I had to stand and play with kids' toys. It's a lot more challenging than it sounds when your legs don't work. For example, one of them was, it's like a big arch. It's got rings in it. So I had to stand, and with my right hand, I'll grab the ring from the left and put my weight on the left leg and move over and then shift my weight onto the next leg. So I'm doing those with the right hand first, no problem. Sat down, rested. Then we went to do it with the left hand. So I'm doing it, and then all of a sudden I went, my legs just gave out, and I'm laughing like, because I always think it's funny when that stuff happens because it's sort of like, it's just out of the blue. It's like, I don't know what happened there. So we sat down, and she told me the next time I think that's going to happen, either grab onto the table more or just sit back down. Because the one thing that they told me, oh man, I forgot why. Sarah knows why, because she listens more than I do. My brain right now, because the information coming from my legs doesn't go to my brain, and from my brain to my legs don't flow properly. So my brain doesn't know, is he standing solid? Is he straight? Is he level? It doesn't know that to tell me where to put more pressure. So sometimes it'll just, oops, and I'm gone. So if I hold something, though, as soon as I hold something, the brain knows, okay, he's stabilized, he's holding on to that. And then for some reason, everything just locks and stays solid. So if I hold on, I'm good. I can stand and do whatever. But after a while with fatigue, then the legs will just crumble or do what we call the West Indian dance, where it just starts shaking. So I had a little bit of that today. It was pretty funny, I thought. The occupational therapist didn't, because I almost fell, and she was like, trying to grab me and stuff. So OT went well, and then I had psychiatrists come by, psychiatrist visit today, and yeah, we talked about some stuff and how I'm feeling and stuff, and because it was a pretty rough day. And we touched on a few things that sometimes I wish I don't touch on, but, and trigger warning, abuse. One of the things we touched on was, you know, how I feel sometimes and why, and because they want to bump up the pain med that I'm on because it's also good for mood and depression. And so she said, you know, if we lift your pain meds up, then you won't feel as down and anxious. And I said to her, well, look at it this way. I'm anxious and depressed, and I got all these issues, root causes as I call them. You guys, every time I tell you there's a problem, you just pile more pills on me. I have a problem again. This isn't working socially, economically, whatever. Here, take some more pills. I said, why don't we try working on this? And then maybe all my other crap in my head will start coming down. Which is things that are not going to change unless I know what's going to happen. And I told her again, one of the big ones to me is the wheelchair. Like no one's giving me an answer on that, and I'm panicking and freaking because, and I say hypothetically, because my goal is to be able to walk out of here. But I'm also a realist. If I don't, when I go home, what, you're going to apply for the stuff then, and then it takes 6 months, and I don't have the money, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not just talking, my hypotheticals are a little bit based on my experience. Sorry, it's a little bit of pain. I think the pills are wearing off. Because when I had the urostomy, that's exactly what happened. I left the hospital, stuff wasn't filled out, wasn't done. Oh, it'll be done, your family doctor will fill it out. No, it never happened. And I got stuck for months without having supplies, and I had to get home care to try to help me out. I was only wearing one so many days and getting infections. So I know what's going to happen. That's why I said, fill the paperwork out now. Let me see, whatever I can get from the GoFundMe and whatever fundraising, whatever I can, to get this chair. That'll be my ability to be independent. But no, they still told me, when you leave, we'll see, and then maybe you can get a rental, and blah, blah, blah. So my point is I'm trying to explain to her, things like that don't get resolved. My head's not going to get clear. And I said, I know what my issues are. My issues are from my childhood. And my issues that I have going on now that are totally different. What happened to me as a child growing up, I've had to deal with. And at 55, a lot of it I've pushed away. Some of it still haunts me and is in my head. And sometimes the way I act and the things I do are based on that. I was talking to Sheldon yesterday, and we talked about that, how sometimes we have to put ourselves in check, and just try to not be who we were thought that we would become, or how other people defined us. Like, oh, you guys are no good, you're not going to end up to nothing, you guys are the bad ones, you guys are... Things we tell to a 12-year-old child or a 10-year-old child. Man, don't get me started. But I said to her, I've come to realize that sometimes the way I choose to treat people now and do things is a lot different than I was when I was younger. And actually, I was just telling the nurse that too that was here. When I was younger, and even younger, like in a few years younger, I always had this thought in my head that I couldn't be, because my value and worth wasn't that much, that I had to be this tough guy. And I was using the wrong methods to define myself, let's say. And so I realize now maybe that lifting all those weights when I was younger was probably my insecurity, my anxiety, 12 years old, coming to Canada, dealing with racism and being bullied. But once I started lifting weights and I got big, everything changed. So the bigger I got, the more sort of respect I got. But that wasn't real respect and stuff, eh? Like, now I notice. And it's amazing doing that and thinking that I'm going to be fit or whatever and stay in shape and be whatever. That lifting weights, I'll be big and strong. I used to have the saying, bury me big or don't bury me at all. Well, it kind of came back to haunt me because now my spine is screwed up. And they think it could be from all the heavy weights I was lifting. Shouldn't be lifting weights that heavy. So, what I was trying to make though, so instead of using that approach to dealing with people now, and I think it's because of all the suffering and all the traumas of all the surgeries and stuff I've been going through, meeting different people and people treating me so nice. Like in here, they're so nice, man. That it's starting to change the way I look and I think treat people. So, an example, if somebody tells me off or as being an idiot or whatever. I always just try to be nice, man, and smile. I beat them with kindness instead. Smile and yeah, man, it's all right. It's all good. And I don't mean it. I don't mean to be sarcastic or anything. It's true. Like, it's okay. Have the best day that you deserve. You're a good person. You're gonna get a good day out of it. If you're bad, hey, maybe the day will be shit for you. That's on you. You treat me like crap and whatever, or tell me off or whatever. That's you being angry and not me. So I'm gonna try my best to just smile and walk away, or just try to be nice to that person. Be kind. So everyone I meet now, I don't prejudge. As soon as I meet you, I'll give you the best treating I could. If I could hug you, man, I'd hug you and tell you I love you. Then once you screw me or whatever, then hey, that's on you, man. You deal with it. Deal with the consequences, right? I think trying to do that, that's part of acceptance too. Accepting everything that's happened to me, everything that's going on right now, and instead of using it to lash out or whatever, I just try to be nice and be accepted. So I think part of it too is, since I've been doing this YouTube, people have been telling me, oh, doing such a good job and stick with it, so proud of you. And again, oh man, I got this neighbor, and like, she's so awesome, man, because she just texts me out of the blue, hey, how you doing? How you feeling? She did that a couple times today, and I thought it was so weird at the right time too. Just when I was feeling the worst or something, Gloria I just looking, there's a text from Gloria, how you feeling today? How's it going? Little things like that make such a big difference, man. Make such a big difference, because I'm not going to get into Gloria, who she is and what, but I know she's had some obstacles herself, so, and have to deal with things the way society looks at us if we're not of there or whatever. But no, man, Gloria's solid. And I think of my mother-in-law too. Every morning I get a text. Every night I get a text from her. And then there's Sheldon, my kids. And I think of how maybe they're probably, like I said before, what they're going through. And then I think of all the damage I'm probably doing to Sarah, Like, who can put up with all this? Like, seriously. And she tries to be so strong and stuff. And then, like, she even said to me, she goes, the house is different when you're not there. And then she was telling me about all the things, like, she's thinking about all the stupid things I do. Like, when the van broke down, how I would push the minivan. I'd push it myself because I didn't want to ask anybody else to help me, or I just, I'd do it myself if I have to. I'll push it, man. I'll do it. She's telling me stuff like that, and now look what it's done to my body, But I told you, man, I warned you, this is just going to be me, how I'm thinking. If I'm sitting here crying, you're going to see it. If I'm going to laugh, you're going to see it. So I don't want to rant too long and take up too much of your time out there, but yeah, man, it's just whenever it comes to my kids, especially, and Sarah, it's just like, I gotta do it, man. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I gotta get better. I have to. Even if I go back to the way I was, where I can just stumble around, because you know why? I keep saying, they keep asking me that too. Why do you think it's just okay to go back to the way you were? Because the way I was before I came in here, I was still able to be able to do whatever I can to take care of them. And it wasn't too much that they couldn't take care of me. It wasn't too overwhelming. Sure, I know, it'd be good if I can go back to just being 100%. But like I said, I'm a realist, right? My spinal cord was damaged. And then it was damaged again during the surgery. So I'm going to be real. There's a possibility, I was told, that I'll never walk again the way I used to. But I'm also going to have hope, because I got my family behind me, that maybe one day, I'll do it. But if I can go camping and pull my trailer and shit and walk around, and we go down to like wherever we go camping and do whatever, and I can walk down the little cliffs and I can walk on the sand and stuff, and then I'm fine. And if I gotta be wheeled, fine. And if they gotta carry me, that's the thing. That's what breaks my heart, is because if they have to carry me, they will. They will. Kids, man, if they got to drag me by my arm to get me somewhere, they would. Same with Sheldon, you know, I know he would. I know he would. I don't even have to think about it. I don't have to question it. Because I would do the same for him. And I keep telling my kids, and I tell Sarah, there's no mountain high enough I wouldn't climb. None. Anyways, I'm going to try to do today what I tell you to do. Don't give up, man. Don't give up. One day at a time, one step at a time. Keep that chin up. I'll see you tomorrow.